Welcome to Lessons Learned, a podcast and community reflecting on the lessons we've learned and those we're still in the process of learning and sometimes unlearning. I'm Komal, your host. I'm an interviewer, writer, resilience educator, and someone who has lived a lot of life in a short time. I'm here to hold space for the candid and intimate conversations between friends, family, strangers, and cultures to help us connect more deeply with ourselves and each other. This is the podcast I wish I had so many times throughout my life. A place for us to reflect, to be together, and to learn from one another. Now let's get into it. Y'all, I needed to do a palate cleanser episode. So we relaunched season 2, and then I haven't been on your feed for 10 days. And it's because my heart's been hurting. We lost our Uncle Russ last Tuesday to his battle with lung cancer. And then I had a really close family member go through a pretty big surgery in a hospital with a COVID outbreak. And that was really rough, but they're doing well, which is amazing. And then I just had a lot of small personal, interpersonal, professional things happen all at once. I was talking to my therapist about it today, and it just felt like a domino of all the different areas in my life I feel vulnerable. They all got triggered in this 10-day period. So it was grief compounded on top of a different type of grief, compounded on a different type of fear, compounded on a different type of pain. And so I've just felt like this raw, pulsating, soft thing has been my experience for 10 days. And so I decided to take some time this week off. I realized I give my team bereavement time and days off, and I wasn't doing that for myself. And then I hit this low where I felt like I couldn't show up for us for this show. This is my first day recording in 2 weeks, and I'm so happy I showed up for myself and for us and for this space, because I forget how nourishing it is for me. The throat chakra is a really powerful chakra. And so when we can use our voice and know that we're being heard and that our stories are being consumed and shared and elevating and supporting others, for me, that is a really healing thing. And I've been so in writing mode. I've written a number of posts this last week that had to do with, how do we grieve the parts of ourselves that we lost because of toxic relationships or trauma? And how do we honor who we used to be before the hard things that happened to us. And other posts like how the things I've learned about mental health and well-being from watching Star Wars because it was May the 4th. So I've had a lot of fun writing. But there's a difference for me in typing and creating without using voice to share, express, and move through things. So I bring that up because sometimes, I have recorded voice note journal entries because I just need my voice to release the hard things that I'm experiencing. I do chromatic journaling so that I have different colors that represent the ways that I'm feeling in my journal. I write things out on my computer when that feels like a right healing modality. So just give yourself the space that you need in order to release whatever it is you might be feeling and experiencing. And then if something feels anxiety inducing or really hard, like showing up for the mic was for me today, sit with that. Sit with that discomfort and ask yourself if this is a moment to move through it and push through and show up as I did today, or if it's a day to say I can't. There's no wrong answer. I almost canceled my recording session today, but I showed up and here we are, and I feel so happy that I did. So I want that to be a little sliver of maybe push through if it can serve you to grow, to get back to yourself, to get back to feeling your power, to feeling your purpose. But if it still feels like too much and you need more rest and you need to take that pause, then do that for yourself. There's no right answer. There's no wrong answer. This is just an opportunity for you to check in with yourself and see what feels right in your gut, in your heart, in your mind. I always feel this when we're going through launches, which we're launching The Next Right Step program, my 8-week signature program to help you enhance and build your resiliency and make a holistic blueprint for life and work. I always feel like when I'm in launch season, the lessons I teach, that which I built curriculum around, the reasons why I built the curriculum in the first place, the layers of that healing come up for more healing. So in this pre-launch period, I am experiencing so many of the traumas I went through that led me to making this curriculum and building the foundation and the thing that I fall back on when I need to rise or when I need to sustain or when I need to remember how to celebrate my success or level up or move forward in my achievements and growth or heal and recover and hold my heart well. It always comes back up during launch season. And I have to come back to the curriculum, to the frameworks that I've cultivated, read about, found, and created to nourish myself and nurture myself through the intense vulnerability that can come up. And that's what I've been doing. So it's wild that as I launch a program to help all of you reconnect to yourselves, create the systems you need, reconnect to your identity, build plans to build community, redefine your relationship to work, all of the things, all of the roots of resilience, I do a little reassessment in my life. And it is hard work. This is not for, this is really difficult things to unpack and uncover and move through. But oh my gosh, is it ever rewarding? Does it ever make me feel powerful and like I'm allowed to dream big and I'm allowed to keep going, and the hard things that happen to me don't define me. They've helped me become who I am today, but there are times when I will not let them hold me back. And this is what this season feels like, is a lot of these fears and doubts and pain and grief have emerged because there is a leveling up that is happening for me right now. And so I greet that challenge with a soft heart and a strong resolve, a commitment to continuing to move through and elevate and grow, to nourish my body and my mind, to take really good care of myself, to honor and nurture the relationships in my life and those who love and support me, and then to keep on going and to keep on building and to keep on growing. When grief comes up, it's really hard for me because I feel like there hasn't been a season in my life where grief hasn't been present since I was young, growing up in a really difficult household, losing our first family member at the age of 16, 17, and having that be a really traumatic grief experience for me, to then having lost family members every few years and people that I care about every few years since then. It can feel unrelenting. And when I'm really in the vulnerability of my grief, I can wonder, what's the point? We're all going to die. What's the point? Why should I keep pushing? Why should I keep living fully and embodied when we are all going to die? Mortality can be so discombobulating. It can also disarm that part of us that feels connected to life and feels motivated and feels like the joy and the light of life is the guiding light. That can feel like it becomes elusive when you're in the thick of your grief and your pain. And you have to fight it. You have to move through it. You have to face it and say, but I'm living, I'm alive. There is more in this life. There is more for me. This grief, it is hard and I honor it and I'm here for it, but I want more life. And that's what I've had to remind myself of. And that's what I've had to take time to come back to, is what are the terms with which I am meeting life again? I know my triggers when it comes to grief, when it comes to the way it makes me remember my own mortality when I was sick, when I was facing cancer, and when I thought about losing my own life, and the darkness that can come with that. But we move towards progress. We move towards the light. And sometimes it requires pockets of darkness for us to remember why and how we take that next right step forward. And unfortunately, this has been a heavy season for me. And unfortunately, I haven't been able to show up in the ways that I've wanted to for work and for all of you. But I know that this is just the way it was meant to be right now. And that I'm proud of myself for coming back today, for being here right now, and for all of you for giving me the space in your lives to occupy a little corner of what I hope is a reminder for you to find ways to be well, to take care of your mind, to nourish yourself, and to want more on your terms, and to create the life that you've always longed for and wanted on your terms. And so that's what we're going to do. That's what I'm going to keep showing up and trying to do for myself. And that's what I hope I'm going to keep creating things to give you permission to keep doing. Honor yourself, nourish yourself, take care of yourself. I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to have moved through a difficult season and to have gained even more insights into things I'd like to share to help you do the same. And I hope that you're having a spectacularly wonderful day today. And if that's not possible, then I hope that you're having as good of a day as you possibly can today. Now, I'm going to go so that I can find a Kleenex because I semi-cried in this episode. So I can reach one. So I'm going to do that. Let's get this runny nose under control. But all that to say, we're back. The Next Right Step, my program, is launching in a few weeks' time. I'm going to be offering some free masterclasses around the roots of resilience so that even if you can't take the program, you get some incredible support information for your life and work as you move into this next season, or if the program is for you so you can find out more about it and make an informed decision to know if this is the right thing for you in your life right now. So stay tuned for that and so much more in the coming weeks. I love you all so deeply. Thank you for letting me be a part of your life, for supporting this show. And also, if you feel like any part of this show over the last few years has resonated with you, it has hit you in the feels, then please leave a review for us on Apple Podcasts. And if you take a screenshot of that and send an email to info@komal.com, we're going to send you a little freebie, which is one of my favorite worksheets that I use to check in with myself every 2 weeks or so. It's called The Wheel of Life. So if you want that, please take a screenshot of your review of the show on Apple Podcasts, email it to info@komal.com, and we'll get that sent off to you. Thank you all so much. I'm so proud of myself for making it back to the mic. I wonder what you are most proud of yourself for today. I hope you can take some time to journal about it, to think on it, and to celebrate all the incredible that is you. Until next time. Lessons Learned is produced by Rhaenyra Naidu and me, Komal Minhas, with support from Daniela Ochoa. Our editor is Madison Foran. If you heard something that really resonated with you, then please leave a review over at Apple Podcasts. You can find all the episodes and other goods over at komal.com. Until next time, I'm Komal, and this is Lessons Learned.